Good evening. It is so good to see you. This is our Tuesday homeschool mom talk, for lack of a better name. You know, I'm not good at naming things. I have trouble every time, but we're going to talk about creative learning tonight. Last week, I talked about homeschooling littles, especially if you have older students that you're having to teach. And I talked about my creative boxes that I used with my littles when they were small. Y'all know I have five. We started homeschooling when Cole was two. Yeah, I was that mom. There's nothing wrong with being that mom. I love when I contact and I talk to, or I get contacted by moms who have 2 year olds, 3 year olds, 4 year olds, and they're interested in homeschooling because that's how I started. I never planned to homeschool through the growing years. I always thought he would go to kindergarten, but by the time kindergarten came around, I was hooked, and I love working with young moms with young kids because that's the perfect time to start. Well, really, every time is the perfect time. But when you've got that little and you can research and find who you are with your homeschooling and you can read great books and you have more, maybe a little bit more time to do it. But for me, when he was two, I had his sister. And then when she was two, I had another sister. And then when she was two, I had another sister. So it's like I had four all together, like stair steps. And so by the time Olivia was born, Cole was almost 7 and going into kind of like between first and second grade. I kind of started off season with him. It's like I started kindergarten when he was 4.5 in like a January. I don't know why. I really have no answer for that. I don't know why I did that. But he took him. I was that mom. I mean, he was going to know everything before he was 5. He knew a lot, and he was a very normal 4 year old. But I love working with young moms because I was there. And so I was talking about creative learning boxes and what I use with my kids to keep my little ones. But I use these with all my kids. They were like some of my sanity savers. One thing I learned with littles is they lose focus really quick. And so if you contain the stuff and close it, it's like almost like that box becomes brand new again. And I would switch them out between those boxes. It's like I would start with one and then move to the next one. And I used cheap at the time. They were pretty cheap fishing tackle boxes. They were just like the perfect size to contain a lot of stuff. And then they closed with how they close. And little fingers were not always good at opening them. So I could contain things. And I learned really quick that that helped. But we'll get into those boxes. But first, let me announce to you, let you know what's the workshop. This week, our workshop is on dyslexia. It's Dyslexia 101. Awesome workshop. You will enjoy it. It will be Thursday at 7. I believe this is one of our repeats. We've got a lot going on the holiday season, and we're doing a couple of our really great past workshops. Last week we did anxiety, homeschooling, homeschooling your student with anxiety disorders. Excellent workshop. Lots of really great meat. Um, this dyslexia one is really good too. We've had several on dyslexia, and we've had a couple on anxiety because those are some things that we deal with more. But tonight we're talking about some littles. Last week, if you want to go back and catch that one, I talked about homeschooling multiple littles, but I'm going to talk about more about the creative learning boxes, and we'll do some stuff on Google and pull up some pictures so that maybe you can have some ideas on making your own boxes. Now, they don't have to be boxes. You can contain these things different ways, whatever way works for you. I'm just telling you what worked for me. I've seen some people use them like that quiet box. I showed you the quiet box last week if you watched. That has like, you buy the plastic boxes, like, they're bigger than that. They're plastic boxes with shelves that you can open and close. But I found with mine, that means they get into all the boxes if you're not watching. And who has time to watch everything? I mean, when I had my first four, it's like there was always a nursing baby or a nursing toddler. There was always, I had several bad pregnancies. So it's like, who has time to watch every little thing? And I did not like having the mess. I was not the calm mama when my first four were there. I was a very different mama. They laugh and kind of complain now and said that with my surprise, y'all know I have five. I have four that are all teens. Well, Cole's not really a teen anymore. He's 20. And then I have the 6 year old who was my happy surprise. I had her at 45. That is telling you my my age. I'm 51. I know. I don't look it. My hair is not quite where it needs to be today, but I am who I am. So that's who I am. I'm a much calmer mom now than then, but you kind of settle back when you get older. Your hormones might not be so crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I was really a crazy mom. So anyway, let's get into talking about these boxes, and let me tell you about some of the boxes I had. Let's see. Okay, so there's I'm putting them around the bottom, but we're gonna look them up too. So I had an arts and crafts box. Like I said, I use a tackle box to kind of contain the mess. Things I would have in there were construction paper. I really now then I had Crayola crayons. That's what I used. That I still love them to this day. They have the most awesome name for their colors. I think I did things a little bit different with Lacey. I was trying with my first four. I had Crayola. With Lacey, I had a little bit more expensive quality. They were made out of beeswax, and they were eatable. You could eat them, and it's like no worry. You can eat Crayola too, and it's not supposed to hurt. In hindsight, the Crayola has better color pigments than the honey, the ones that were made out of beeswax. They were great quality. They were big and fat for Lacey. Little hands could hold them really good. But Crayola has those too now, where they didn't have them when my first four were little. They have a really awesome. Now I don't see them. I have a pencil here. I have this pencil. You see how it's kind of it's like a triangle. I don't know if you can see that. They have crayons like that too. And that is usually what I buy even now for Lacey, because it helps her hold it correctly with her hands, and it's a little bit easier to hold that grip a little bit. So they have all sorts of types of crayons now that are for little hands, and so you can get them anything from littles, like they'll make them like almost egg shape, to having the triangle kind for preschoolers and the kindergartners, or you can go to the original that I am still in love with, and I still keep a box just for me. Yes, I am a mother who likes to color. So that is what I used for that. Some other things I would use was finger paints for littles, paints. As they got older, I started getting more quality stuff. I tried to get the best quality I can afford. My teenagers, look, having art supplies is great even for teenagers. I keep watercolors. I keep paints. I don't think we have oil paints right now. I've kept a little bit of everything. So that is one thing with art boxes is paints, scissors, really good scissors. I try. That's just me. I try to keep the best I can afford. Um, scissor skills are very important. You can find stuff off the internet for cutting. Last night, yesterday, Lacey was making kazoos. She's 6, and she was using scissors to cut the straws to make kazoos. My popsicle sticks were not the best quality, so I'm going to have to replace them. They were not flat, and she was having trouble making. But it was really great because she was trying to figure out how to make those kazoos work, and they were not working. But that was good thinking skills. So let's see what else. What else did I have in there? I like googly eyes. Watch those, because I just had one with Lacey that the Google was googly. It was split and it was coming out. That could be a choking hazard. But the thing is you can contain this. Now, I used my kitchen table for everything. We did school there. We did crafts there. We did everything. Poor kitchen table. It had a beating, but I actually Still sold. Somebody took it, cleaned it up. Somebody bought it when I replaced it. But there's so many great memories you can have with that arts and crafts box. Toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls. I'm just aluminum foil. The sky's the limit. There's lots of great stuff, but having this stuff contained so that you can grab it and then you clean it up real quick, close it up, put it back wherever you store it. So Lego box. Now Lego box, you may not want to get a fishing tackle box for that because most Lego boxes you can buy. Like I have one on the floor over here that it can closes and um, stores everything. But just a basic with no pictures. You can go to Pinterest. You can go to where else? Pinterest, Teachers Pay Teachers. You can find the cards where they give you ideas about building with Legos. Start with a Duplo. They're bigger. Save them. Legos, Duplos have awesome resale value. That's just a frugal tip from one mama of five to another. Legos have huge resale value. Do not suck them up in the vacuum, no matter how mad you are at them. Put a sheet on the floor, dump them out. You can bag it together and kind of, make it slide into the box. Um, it will keep your sanity a little bit more. I did not buy sets until they were much older because sets tend to be harder for littles. But Duplo, they have different sizes. They have the really big ones for littles, and then they kind of start going down in size. And there's some really great ones out there. I had bought one like a storybook one where Lacey could make the little animals that went along with the storybook. She liked those. We're really big into Legos in this house. Let's see, Lego box, block box. I did not have an actual box to hold it. These kind of stacked up onto a little rolling bin and they would move around. But blocks last a long time. I think they would still make them now. They would still play with them now. I wish I had not gotten rid of them. Blocks are awesome for thinking and building and stuff. Dress up box. I told y'all last week, always hit the sales after Halloween. You can get many things. I think I had one who had a horse costume that I got on like for 75% off one year. And she was a horse for a long time. She was a horse or a princess on a horse. That was a great buy. Lasted many years. Buy the better quality ones so they last. You can get them, resale. That's great. I don't usually do makeup because makeup tends to break some of my children out really bad. In fact, I had some that used some lipstick from China or something like that. This was years ago, not now. But it's like it looked like they had bruising all around their mouth. They had a reaction. So I don't usually do the makeup and stuff like that. So that's not cheap makeup. If they're going to put some makeup on, it's going to be real and it's going to be good quality because my girls, their skin just can't handle it. Um, so dress up boxes, get stuff to go along with the stories that you're going through. I'm like, that's always fabulous to do. Finger puppets, we get them from. Give me a minute. Let me see. See, I'm gonna have to post it in the bottom. There is a good quality finger puppet. I'm not talking about these are like expensive finger puppets. They're like $10 a piece. We have a stage. We bought a stage years ago. It was a Christmas gift. See, you can use Christmas and birthdays to build your supplies. Then we would get really nice finger puppets that went along with the stories we were doing or whatever was going on. I think we still have most of them now on that Lacey will play with. Eventually, they'll be put up and saved for grandbabies. But because that's where I am. I'm waiting on grandbabies. But when you look at these things, think about longevity. If you want the quality, and quality does not always mean expensive. You want the quality. With our toy box, and then we're not just talking about school time. During school time, we would always have school toys for the littles, the ones that were really little. They had these block boxes. They had school toys. These were learning things. I never chose anything that used batteries or definitely never chose anything that made noise. Very rarely. I do have instruments now, but they are only pulled out at certain times because Mama didn't have, I'm not that mom. But choose wisely, choose for longevity. Think about what you want with your craft box and your Lego box and your block box, and you want the good quality stuff because good quality usually will last longer. Good quality does not always mean it's more expensive. I've seen some expensive stuff that did not have good quality. But really think it through because especially if you have multiple kids, then these things can last through several kids. And it's like you're lowering your price point. Um, Getting big books from like, Sam's or Costco of learning at like, you know, worksheets. My kids loved coloring, they loved worksheets. It's almost hard to find a big book of just coloring sheets like what we had when we were growing up. I have to look really hard to find those. I don't always want what are they called? Like worksheet type games because littles cannot always do that. So I ended up there I felt like they were a waste. So I try to find really good thick things. And then once they get into school, you can get the preschool and the first grade and the second grade. And then you have extra stuff for them to do when they want to do something. And they almost always want to do something. Another thing I have that kind of goes into the art and crafts is paint by stickers. I keep them on my shelf. Paint by stickers have been very big in our house this year. I'm very much into fine motor activities, finding stuff that they can build their finger strength. We have clay and Play Doh in our arts and crafts stuff right now. I actually keep it on my table so that they can pull it out when they want. Even the teens play with it. I don't have it here. It's in the car right now, but I have a black diamond that I got from a friend for finger strength. I had a gun class, and this was for building my finger strength. I have that out for my teens to grab and squeeze and play with. And they don't always realize that's what their mama's doing, but I'm trying to build finger strength because you cannot have good handwriting if you do not have finger strength. And in the world we live in, kids are not building it because they're on a tablet. Now, saying that, we're going to go to creative learning. See, you like that switch? We're going to go to creative learning for iPads and tablets. I am a fan of iPads. I prefer that over the other ones because they in our house, I don't know about other people, but in our house, my Apple products have lasted longer with toddlers and preschoolers and first graders and small children. My tablets that we have bought that are cheaper price and easy to get, yes, but they have never lasted. In fact, my personal iPad that my husband took over a couple of years ago just died and it's 10 years old. It's just died. My Gabriella, who's 15, got a mini iPad at 7. It was part of her Christmas. She had gotten a whole bunch of birthday money, which is odd because she got her birthday money. She's born in May, and somehow she didn't spend it. I don't know what happened, and then we used it and combined it and got her a mini iPad, brand new, when she was about 7. It is still working. In fact, Elysia inherited it when Gabriella got a new one, a new used one, and we just replaced it because it's not wanting to update apps. So we still have it. It still works. It is in perfect condition. There are some great cases. I can put a link in the bottom for you to see that keeps that contained. So Lisi has a new iPad we bought for school this year that has learning apps on it. Now I've done a workshop on learning apps before. I'm gonna get rid of that. I've done a learning app. Um, I've done that before. I have that on the YouTube channel, and I'll run that again maybe later in the week. But learning apps with Lisi's iPad, she only has learning apps. Now we have one folder that has all the extras, settings, and all the stuff I don't want her getting into. Now she could technically get in there. It's like the App Store and that stuff. Everything else that she doesn't need has been deleted off. Um, Everything I don't want her to go to is over there. And she kind of knows that she's not supposed to go mess with that because I just tell her that it'll mess the iPad up and then it'll break. Maybe a little white lie, but not completely, because if she messes over there and adds something wrong or changes something, it might actually mess things up. It might not break it. Nothing is ever to the point where you can't fix it, but I don't want her to mess there, so she does. I do have to watch my teens from adding apps for her because sometimes she'll see something or she'll hear about something or she'll see something on their phone and she wants it. I don't let that happen because I don't want her in just anything. So I do have to watch. Teens are teens. I have some really great kids. I'm very proud of them, but they are still teens. So I do watch her thing. I do not want an app that she can talk to anybody. Not that she can type. She's just doing phonics. She can't type. But that is not what I want for her. So I am very, very watchful. Maybe not as much. I don't know that any person is perfect. But so she has stuff like PBS videos. She has PBS games. We do have YouTube for kids on there, but that's one that is there's I have you can I've actually learned that you can set your iPad so that they cannot leave the app they're on for a set amount of time. But I'll show that on it. I'm going to actually show that one day. I'm going to do that. I have a playlist called Tech, Homeschool Tech, and I will actually show y'all. I need to actually record it on her iPad, and I will put it in there where y'all can see it. I'll try to remember to do it this week. Um, what else? What else do we have? Let's see. She has the YouTube for kids. That's one that we watch and make sure that she just doesn't randomly go all day long on that because she would. Always Ice Cream, which will eventually be her school. Her sisters use the same platform, but for high school, and I'm very impressed. So that's on there. She can play and do supplemental learning. ABC Mouse is probably on there. Starfall.com. They have a paid and free level. Very, very, that is the one app that has stood the test of time for multiple kids. It actually, I think it goes up to second grade. It is not like ABC Mouse where it has a learning path. It is it is more like games, so they move themselves. It's not like a learning path that's going to move them. Khan Academy for kids is free. It is, if you can handle the simple silly songs. I don't know if you've seen that, where it's, Baby Shark. They gave us Baby Shark and a bunch of other ones. They actually use that in the video. It's like it'll stop in the middle of the song and you have to count the sharks. So excellent. They have done an excellent job for a free app. It is fabulous. Numbers, Big Numbers by Dragonbox. Dragonbox is one of my top recommended apps for math. It is not free, but it is worth it. The first one they came out with was Dragonbox, which is algebra. Lacey can even play that one a little bit. But then they've added other ones. Numbers starts with numbers like 10. I believe it's maybe up to 20. I can't remember. I haven't played that one as much. I have actually played Big Numbers. It's almost like stress relief. That is like a world where it's like they're buying and selling apples and gathering apples and selling them for other things. It's just like a world, and it has tons of big math, like in the hundreds. So it's like early elementary. I've actually played that one. It took me a week and a half and I completed the whole thing. So yes, I am a mom. I'm not a kid. And then I started over, but it was like stress relief. It just drew me in, and I was learning and playing it, and it was really cool. So that is a excellent, excellent game for kids. We do not do tons of TV. We do more of the learning apps in the afternoon. Usually I curl up on the bed by her. I might have work on the computer or whatever, and I sit and kind of observe what she's doing. She's a normal kid. She doesn't always want to do learning, but I try to keep a lot of variety of things that she can see. Teach Your Monster to Read is periodically free. They went free for one day this past week, so I don't know that you can get. I don't know that it's free now, but it is worth the money if you wait and you're not ready to learn to read, you could wait another year and go through and try to find it for free, but it's worth the price. That's one that I wouldn't. Dragon Box, Teach Your Monster to Read. I would not even worry about that price. Starfall on the computer, on the app, excellent, worth buying. It's about $40 a year. That's excellent. Those, if you're, and if Khan Academy. So there's a lot of really good, and embrace the app learning, because it's here. It's part of society, and there's some really, in the beginning maybe not, but there's some really good ones out there. Um, Duolingo for kids is phonics. I know some people have concern about Duolingo for the foreign language and has some of the things that some of the, not all the languages I've heard. There's it's not made for kids. Y'all got to remember that. That's one app that was not made for kids. Duolingo for kids is made for kids, and it's phonics. Duolingo foreign languages is made for adults, teens, but we live in a different world than maybe what we grew up with. Some people have expressed concern. It is usually if you see anything that you don't want to see. And what I'm talking about is maybe alternative lifestyles. You may or may not agree with that. I'm just trying to say that if that is in the bigger languages like Spanish and French, you would see that. Smaller languages like Russian, my kids never saw it. So that's just out there. It's a warning that, your comfort level, what your family believes. That's what you'll see there. So we're talking about littles. I know my next one up, we're going to talk about high school because I have been asked that. So next Tuesday, we'll talk about high school, I promise. Today, we're talking about creative learning because I'm all for that. Even for teens, adding in some of the extra fun and just having time. Y'all need to remember teens are still kids and they need to play. And I have been trying to find ways for my teens to play that do not involve this because this is what they want to do. And I don't blame them. I like apps too. We live in an appy world. And so painting by stickers has been big. Lots of art supplies. I have one that really, really loves to do poetry and art. She's taken lots of school classes on OutSchool. Lisa's taken a few, but I can't really use that on. It has to be on my computer, and I don't really like them getting on my computer because that's work. That's my work computer, so I don't really. I'm kind of selfish, maybe a little selfish about my computer. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this subject. I hope you got a lot out of it. Let me know what questions you have on the bottom. Let me know what subject you want to talk about on Tuesdays. Thursdays are our workshop day. This is our let's talk about it, whatever we do. I've kind of called it Tuesday homeschool mom talk because I'm not, it tells you what I plan to do. But I will work on high school for next year. We'll talk a little bit about high school. And because I've had that question come up a couple of times, parents getting ready to move their eighth graders into ninth grade. And, as you know, locally, I admit a large, in Alabama, it's called a church school. Other states might call it a covering or an umbrella school or something like that. And we have almost 300 family members. And so that's where this started. And I just invite everybody to come along because we have to talk about these things. And since I've been around a while, 17 years, we've homeschooled. I'm just inviting you in along for the ride. And I'm still in the middle of it because I've got the 6-year-old too. But I'm going to go cook lunch. Okay, I pre-recorded this today because I have things tonight. Going to go cook lunch. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? You probably didn't need to know that. But I do actually, they gave me the ability to do that with this app. I'm an appy person. That's me. I'm an appy person. I'm going to make a t-shirt. I'm an appy mom. But anyway, y'all have a great night. I hope to see y'all soon. Let me know what you want to hear workshop wise. Workshop is usually other moms coming in from other places. Sometimes we will even contract with them to bring them in. Let me know who you want to talk to. And Tuesday is for us. You know, it's the girls. Grab your coffee. And we will be back completely live next week because I will be back in town and we will talk homeschool, not homeschool, high school. But have a wonderful night. See y'all soon.